Good evening, friends. Today, I want to talk about something that's quietly stealing your success: distraction. It's easy to get pulled in 100 different directions, but the secret to achievement is simple. Stop being distracted and remember why you started. First, let me remind you that clarity equals power. When you're crystal clear about your goals and your purpose, you don't waste time wandering. You don't let distractions steer you off course. Clarity is like a lighthouse in a storm. It guides you home. So, be clear, write your goals down, define your why. Let it be the roadmap that leads every decision you make. Now, clarity alone won't get you there. You need to build consistency. Success is a result of what you do repeatedly, day in and day out. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Think of it like planting seeds in a garden. You water them every day, even when it's hard. Even when you don't see immediate growth, that daily effort compounds. That's how you move from wishing to working, from dreaming to doing. Consistency builds trust with yourself. It says, I'm reliable, I show up. And that self-trust is the foundation for all success. But consistency without focus is like rowing a boat with no direction. The power of focus sharpens your energy. It eliminates distractions and zeroes in on what matters most. The world is noisy. Notifications, interruptions, competing priorities. They all try to steal your attention. Focus protects your time and energy. It's about saying no to what's urgent but not important, and yes to what aligns with your why. Remember, you cannot do everything, but you can do one thing at a time with excellence. As Jim Rohn said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Discipline means focus. And here's the truth, all these things, clarity, consistency, focus, that's why you must remember. The vision, the passion, the purpose that lit the fire inside you. When setbacks hit, and they will, remembering your why keeps you going. It transforms frustration into fuel, obstacles into opportunities. Without your why, every distraction can pull you off course, but with it, you have a reason to push through, to keep going when others quit. You see, your why isn't just about outcomes. It's about meaning. It's about who you want to become and the legacy you want to leave. When you connect your daily actions to a greater purpose, even the toughest days become manageable. You wake up every morning not just to work, but to contribute to something bigger than yourself. To harness all this, you need to create an environment that supports your goals. Control what you can. Your workspace, your schedule, your associations. Surround yourself with people who remind you of your why and hold you accountable. Avoid toxic influences that feed your distractions. And don't forget, growth is a process. Be patient. Celebrate small wins, reflect often on your progress, and adjust your course when necessary. This ongoing reflection keeps your clarity sharp and your commitment strong. In closing, I want you to stop right now and ask yourself, why did I start? What's the dream that's been whispering inside me? What's the goal that sets my heart on fire? Hold that why close. Let it be your compass. Guard it fiercely against distractions. Be consistent in your efforts. Focus your energy like a laser beam and watch as your life transforms, one disciplined step at a time. Remember the words of Jim Rohn, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Don't let distractions steal your success. Stop wandering. Stop hesitating. Get clear, stay consistent, focus deeply, and never forget why you started. Your future depends on it. Purpose is the foundation of everything you do. It's the fuel that drives your actions, the anchor that keeps you steady when life gets turbulent. Without purpose, your efforts become scattered, your motivation fades, and distractions easily pull you off course. You see, purpose gives your life meaning. It's the reason behind every choice you make, every step you take. When you first started on your journey, whether it was a business, a fitness goal, education, or any personal dream, you had a clear reason why. Maybe you wanted financial freedom, to provide a better life for your family, to master a skill, or to prove something to yourself. That initial spark, that deep-rooted why, is incredibly powerful. It's what compels you to get up early, to work late, and to keep going when the world says stop. But over time, it's easy to forget that why. Life's distractions, constant notifications, social media, competing priorities, cloud your vision. And when you lose sight of your purpose, it becomes harder to stay disciplined. Your energy dissipates. The little temptations start to look bigger than your goals. You start asking, why bother instead of why not? Understanding the power of purpose means recognizing that motivation isn't enough. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. It's unpredictable. But purpose is consistent. It's the internal compass that guides you through storms and setbacks. Jim Rohn often said that motivation will get you started, but discipline will keep you going. And discipline is built on the foundation of purpose. When your purpose is clear, your mind automatically filters out distractions. You become less interested in the noise around you because you're focused on something far greater. Think about it like a lighthouse in a storm. It stands tall and steady, sending out a beam of light that cuts through darkness and confusion. That light is your purpose. This clarity allows you to prioritize your actions. Every day, you decide what deserves your time and what doesn't. You say no to things that don't align with your goals. This doesn't mean you ignore everything fun or relaxing, but rather that you understand the difference between what's urgent and what's important. And your purpose helps you make that distinction. Purpose also gives you resilience. When you face challenges, and you will, you have something to hold on to. It reminds you that setbacks are temporary. The difficulties are just part of the process, and that your goal is worth the effort. Without a strong why, it's easy to give up at the first sign of trouble because the pain seems too great and the reward too distant. One of the most valuable lessons about purpose is that it's deeply personal. You can't borrow someone else's purpose and expect it to light your fire. Your purpose has to resonate with who you are and what you truly want. When it does, it becomes a source of joy, not just obligation. You don't just work toward your goal, you become inspired by it. Purpose also influences your mindset. It shifts you from being reactive to proactive. Instead of waiting for motivation or good circumstances to appear, you take charge of your day and your destiny. You recognize that each small step contributes to the larger picture. When you remember why you started, you don't just see the finish line. You appreciate the journey. You understand that every sacrifice, every moment of discipline, and every choice to ignore distractions is a brick in the foundation of your future. This realization helps keep you patient and committed, even when results are slow. Moreover, purpose is contagious. When you're clear about why you do what you do, it influences others around you, your family, your team, your friends. They see your dedication and passion. They feel inspired by your commitment. This positive energy creates a support system that further shields you from distractions. The truth is, many people never truly discover their purpose because they never stop long enough to ask the important questions. Why do I want this? What will this mean for me in 5 years, 10 years? What am I willing to sacrifice to achieve this? Reflecting on these questions regularly renews your sense of direction and helps you avoid drifting aimlessly. Jim Rohn often emphasized that we become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. Surround yourself with purpose-driven people who remind you why you started, who challenge you to stay on track, and who hold you accountable. Their influence will keep your purpose alive and your distractions at bay. In essence, the power of purpose is your greatest weapon against distraction. It's what transforms a dream into a plan into action, and action into success. When you remember why you started, your vision sharpens, your resolve strengthens, and your journey becomes meaningful. So guard your purpose fiercely, revisit it often, and let it be the compass that guides you through every distraction life throws your way. Distraction is one of the greatest challenges we face in achieving success. It's subtle, sneaky, and often disguised as harmless breaks or even productive activity. But the truth is, distraction is the enemy of direction. It pulls you away from your goals, scatters your focus, and wastes your most valuable resource, time. Without direction, your efforts become scattered. You're busy but not productive, active but not effective. When you start a journey toward any meaningful goal, you begin with a clear direction. You have a target in mind. You know where you want to go. This direction acts like a roadmap, guiding your steps and decisions. But distraction is like an invisible force that nudges you off this path. It doesn't shout or create a fuss. Instead, it quietly steals your attention, often without you even noticing. Imagine you're driving to a destination. Distraction is like suddenly looking at your phone, reading a text, or changing the radio station. These small actions take your eyes off the road just for a moment. It feels harmless. But if those moments add up, your route becomes unclear, and you might end up miles away from where you intended. Life works the same way. Every distraction pulls you away from your goals and delays your progress. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Notifications ping every few minutes. Social media pulls you into endless scrolling. Emails, messages, and calls demand immediate attention. Even well-meaning people around you might unintentionally distract you with their problems or requests. The challenge is that these distractions are designed to grab your attention. They appeal to our natural desire for instant gratification and novelty, making it harder to stay focused on long-term goals. One of the biggest dangers of distraction is how it fragments your focus. When you shift your attention from one thing to another, your brain has to constantly adjust. This switching costs you mental energy and time. It breaks your momentum. Even a brief distraction can take you out of a productive flow, making it harder to get back on track. The result is that tasks take longer and your overall progress slows down. Distraction also diminishes the quality of your work. When your mind is divided, you can't give your best effort to anything. You might think you're multitasking, but studies show that multitasking reduces effectiveness and increases errors. To perform at your highest level, you need to give your full attention to the task at hand. This is how excellence is built, one focused moment at a time. The key to overcoming distraction is understanding the importance of direction. Direction gives your life focus and meaning. It tells you what to say yes to, and just as importantly, what to say no to. When you have clear direction, distractions lose their power. They become less tempting because you know exactly where you want to go and what you need to do to get there. Another important point is that direction requires intentionality. You can't accidentally stumble into success. You have to consciously choose your path and keep your eyes on the prize. Jim Rohn famously said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." This means taking responsibility for your focus and refusing to let distractions dictate your day. Creating habits that protect your direction is essential. This might mean setting specific times for checking emails or social media, creating a workspace free from interruptions, or scheduling focused work periods. It's also about learning to say no to invitations, tasks, or activities that don't align with your priorities. Discipline is the muscle that strengthens your ability to stay on course despite distractions. It's also helpful to remind yourself of the cost of distraction. Time lost to distractions is time you can never get back. It's not just minutes, it's potential growth, missed opportunities, and delayed results. Every time you give in to a distraction, you're essentially choosing a temporary feeling over a long-term outcome. And while distraction may feel good in the moment, it often leaves you feeling frustrated and behind in the bigger picture. To maintain direction, you need to cultivate self-awareness. Pay attention to when and why you get distracted. Is it boredom, fear, overwhelm? Identifying the root causes can help you address them more effectively. For example, if boredom leads to distraction, find ways to make your work more engaging. If fear is the issue, remind yourself of your purpose and the benefits of pushing through discomfort. Lastly, remember that direction is not a one-time decision, it's a daily commitment. Life will constantly try to pull you off course, but each day offers a fresh opportunity to recommit to your path. Reflect regularly on your goals and adjust as needed, but always keep your main direction clear. In conclusion, distraction is the enemy of direction because it steals your focus, wastes your time, and prevents you from moving forward. But when you have clear direction, backed by discipline and purpose, distractions lose their power. You become like a laser beam, focused, intentional, and unstoppable. So guard your direction fiercely, minimize distractions, and keep your eyes on where you want to go. Your future depends on it. Success doesn't come from luck, sudden breakthroughs, or one-time efforts. It's not about an overnight change or a single big decision that magically transforms your life. Success is a result of small, consistent actions repeated day after day. It is a series of disciplines, simple habits that shape your behavior and lead to long-term results. Jim Rohn often said success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. This statement holds the key to understanding how greatness is built, not by chance, but by choice. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people think of it as restriction or punishment. They think discipline means denying themselves all pleasures and living a life of drudgery. But true discipline isn't about deprivation. It's about control, focus, and consistency. It's about making choices today that align with the person you want to become tomorrow. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. When you look at the lives of successful people, what stands out is their ability to maintain discipline over time. They don't rely on motivation alone because motivation is fleeting. Some days motivation is high and others it's low. Discipline carries you through those low motivation days. It's what keeps you showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's the commitment to do the right thing even when it's difficult or inconvenient. Success as a series of disciplines means breaking down your big goals into manageable actions. Instead of overwhelming yourself with the magnitude of what you want to achieve, focus on the daily practices that move you closer to your goal. If you want to build a successful business, it might mean dedicating time every day to learning, networking, and improving your product. If your goal is to get in shape, it means committing to exercise and healthy eating consistently. These small disciplines accumulate and compound over time. One of the reasons many people fail to achieve their goals is because they underestimate the power of these small daily habits. They look for quick fixes or expect instant results. But success is like planting a seed. It takes time, patience, and regular care. Discipline is the watering and sunlight that nurture that seed. Without it, the seed will never grow. Another important aspect of discipline is that it trains your mind and body to develop good habits automatically. At first, these habits may feel like work, but as you practice them consistently, they become part of your routine. They shift from being a conscious effort to an unconscious lifestyle. This is the difference between willpower and habit. Willpower can tire. Habit is sustainable. It's also important to understand that discipline builds character. When you commit to doing what needs to be done, even when no one is watching, you develop integrity, responsibility, and confidence. These qualities not only help you succeed, but also make you a better leader and role model. Jim Rohn famously said, "Discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built." Lack of discipline inevitably leads to failure. The disciplines you choose to practice should be directly connected to your goals and values. This connection creates meaning behind your actions and makes it easier to stay consistent. When you remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, discipline becomes less about obligation and more about purpose. It's also vital to recognize that discipline is a muscle. It can be developed and strengthened. If you've struggled with consistency in the past, don't be discouraged. Start small. Choose one discipline that is critical to your goal and commit to it for a short period, like 30 days. As you build confidence and momentum, add more disciplines. Over time, you'll find that your ability to stay disciplined grows stronger and more natural. One challenge people face is the temptation to quit when they don't see immediate progress. This is where the mindset of discipline is crucial. Remember, the results of your disciplined efforts are often invisible at first. You're laying the groundwork for future success. The key is to trust the process and keep going. Another powerful way to build discipline is by creating systems and environments that support your habits. For example, if you want to read more, keep a book by your bedside. If you want to eat healthier, prepare meals in advance so you're less likely to grab junk food. Systems reduce the need for constant decision-making and help make discipline easier to maintain. Accountability also plays a major role in sustaining discipline. Share your goals with someone you trust, or find a mentor or accountability partner who can encourage you and hold you responsible. When others know what you're working on, it adds motivation to stay disciplined. In the end, success is the result of your daily disciplines, not occasional inspiration. It's the sum of what you do consistently, not what you do occasionally. So remember, don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect feeling. Success is built one disciplined choice at a time. Decide today to embrace discipline, to practice those simple habits daily, and to trust that these small efforts will lead you to the extraordinary life you desire. Clarity is one of the most powerful forces you can have in life. When you are clear about what you want, who you are, and where you are headed, you unlock an incredible source of power and momentum. Without clarity, you wander through your days like a ship without a rudder, vulnerable to every wave and gust of wind. You become reactive instead of proactive, drifting instead of steering. Jim Rohn often emphasized that clarity equals power, because when you know exactly what you want, your decisions become easier, your focus sharpens, and your confidence grows. Think about what happens when you're unclear. You hesitate, you doubt, you waste energy trying to figure out the next step. You get distracted by opportunities that don't align with your true goals. You might say yes to things out of obligation or fear rather than purpose. All this confusion drains your energy and clouds your judgment. Without clarity, your potential is trapped in indecision and chaos. On the other hand, clarity brings simplicity. It cuts through complexity and noise. It lets you see the path ahead clearly. When you are clear about your goals and values, you create a mental map that guides every action. This map helps you prioritize what truly matters and discard what doesn't. You learn to say no to distractions and yes to opportunities that move you closer to your vision. Clarity also fuels motivation. When you understand why you're pursuing something, you tap into a deeper level of commitment. You're not just chasing money, recognition, or status. You're chasing a purpose that resonates with your heart and mind. This emotional connection provides the energy to push through challenges and setbacks. It's what Jim Rohn called the difference between wishing for it and working for it. Another critical aspect of clarity is that it reduces fear and anxiety. Fear often arises from the unknown. When you lack a clear plan or goal, your mind fills in the gaps with worst-case scenarios and doubts. Clarity reduces this uncertainty because you know what steps to take next. It gives you a sense of control over your journey. When you feel in control, you are more confident and willing to take risks necessary for growth. Clarity also improves your communication. When you know exactly what you want and why, you can articulate your vision to others effectively. This attracts the right people, resources, and opportunities into your life. You become a magnet for collaboration and support because others can see your purpose clearly and want to be part of it. It's important to understand that clarity is not a one-time event, but a continual process. As you grow and learn, your goals and priorities might evolve. Regular reflection helps you reassess and refine your vision. Journaling, goal-setting exercises, or simply taking quiet time to think can help maintain clarity. The more time you invest in clarifying your purpose and direction, the more power you will have. One practical way to gain clarity is to break your big goals into smaller, concrete steps. Often, people feel overwhelmed because their vision is too vague or too grand. By defining specific actions, deadlines, and milestones, your vision becomes tangible and manageable. This clarity of action reduces procrastination and increases momentum. Clarity also protects you from comparison and distraction. When you know your own path, you don't waste time measuring yourself against others. You don't get sidetracked by what others are doing or what the latest trends are. Instead, you focus on your unique strengths and values. This authenticity is a source of power because it allows you to build something true to who you are. Another benefit of clarity is that it helps you manage your energy. When you focus on what matters most, you invest your time and effort wisely. You avoid burnout by not overcommitting to things that don't align with your purpose. Instead, you create balance by dedicating energy to your priorities first. This focused energy leads to higher quality work and better results. Sometimes, gaining clarity requires asking yourself difficult questions. What do I really want? What am I willing to sacrifice? What legacy do I want to leave? These questions may not have easy answers, but wrestling with them brings you closer to your true purpose. It also aligns your subconscious mind with your conscious goals, creating a powerful synergy. In addition, clarity sharpens your decision-making ability. When you know your values and priorities, decisions become simpler. You can evaluate options quickly by asking, does this move me closer to my goal or away from it? This clarity eliminates indecision and wasted time. It turns you into a decisive person who acts with confidence and purpose. Finally, clarity breeds resilience. When obstacles arise, as they inevitably will, you have a clear reason to keep going. Your clarity acts like a lighthouse in the storm, guiding you through uncertainty. It reminds you that every challenge is temporary and that your vision is worth the effort. This resilience is what separates those who achieve lasting success from those who give up. In conclusion, clarity equals power because it transforms confusion into confidence, fear into focus, and hesitation into action. When you invest the time and effort to gain clarity about your goals, values, and purpose, you unlock a powerful force that propels you forward. You become unstoppable because you know exactly where you are going and why. So make clarity your priority, revisit it often, and watch how your life begins to change. Your future depends on it. Consistency is one of the most powerful habits you can develop on your journey to success. It is the secret ingredient that turns good intentions into tangible results. Without consistency, even the most brilliant ideas or grandest plans fall apart. Jim Rohn often said, "Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals." This means that showing up every day and doing the work, no matter how small or routine, creates the momentum needed to achieve your goals. Consistency builds trust with yourself and with others. When you are consistent, you develop a reputation for reliability and discipline. You prove to yourself that you can be counted on to do what you say you will do. This self-trust is the foundation of confidence. When you trust yourself, you are less likely to procrastinate, doubt your abilities, or give in to distractions. Consistency becomes a source of inner strength. One of the biggest mistakes people make is expecting immediate results and then giving up when those results don't come quickly. But consistency requires patience. It means committing to a process day after day, even when the progress feels invisible or slow. This slow, steady effort compounds over time, like interest in a savings account, growing your skills, knowledge, and momentum. The key is to focus on showing up, not on instant success. Consistency also creates a rhythm in your life that supports productivity and growth. When you establish routines and habits around your goals, you reduce decision fatigue and increase efficiency. You don't have to waste mental energy figuring out what to do next because your actions become automatic. Another important aspect of consistency is that it builds resilience. Life will throw obstacles your way, unexpected challenges, setbacks, and failures. But when you have a consistent approach, you are more likely to persevere through tough times. Consistency acts like a safety net that catches you when motivation falters. It provides a structure that keeps you moving forward, even when the going gets tough. Consistency also influences your mindset. It reinforces positive beliefs about your abilities and your commitment to your goals. When you practice discipline regularly, you start to see yourself as someone who can overcome challenges and achieve success. This mindset shift is crucial because it fuels further effort and attracts opportunities. Jim Rohn often highlighted the power of personal development, and consistency is a key part of that process. It's important to note that consistency doesn't mean perfection. Nobody can be perfect every day. The goal is to be consistent enough that small setbacks don't derail your progress. If you miss a day or encounter a failure, what matters most is getting back on track quickly. This bounce back ability is part of being consistent over the long haul. It's about progress, not perfection. Creating consistency requires intention and planning. You need to identify the key actions that will drive your success and commit to doing them regularly. This might mean setting specific goals, creating schedules, or tracking your progress. Many successful people use tools like journals, planners, or apps to hold themselves accountable and measure their consistency. Another powerful way to maintain consistency is to connect your daily actions to your larger purpose. When your work feels meaningful, it's easier to stay committed. Remembering why you started in the first place provides motivation to keep going. This connection between purpose and action transforms routine tasks into purposeful habits. Accountability can also enhance consistency. When you share your goals with others or work with a mentor or coach, you create external pressure to stay consistent. Knowing that someone else is watching or supporting you can motivate you to maintain your efforts, especially during difficult times. The role of consistency extends beyond just achieving goals. It shapes your character. Over time, consistent effort develops qualities like patience, persistence, and self-control. These qualities serve you not just in your current pursuits, but in every area of life. They prepare you to handle bigger challenges and pursue even greater ambitions. In business, sports, art, or personal development, consistency is what separates the average from the exceptional. It's the daily practice that builds mastery. Even the most talented individuals must practice consistently to maintain and grow their skills. This truth applies to anyone seeking success. There is no substitute for steady, persistent effort. To cultivate consistency, start by identifying the smallest action you can take daily toward your goal. This minimum effective dose makes it easier to maintain your commitment. As you build confidence, you can increase your efforts. Celebrate small wins along the way to stay motivated and remind yourself that every step counts. In summary, the role of consistency is fundamental in turning dreams into reality. It builds trust, creates momentum, and shapes a resilient mindset. Consistency requires patience and commitment, but it rewards you with lasting progress and success. By committing to consistent action every day, no matter how small, you create an unstoppable force that drives you toward your goals. Remember, success is the natural outcome of doing the right things consistently. Focus is one of the most valuable resources you have, yet it's also one of the most fragile. In a world filled with endless distractions and competing demands for your attention, maintaining focus has become increasingly difficult. However, the power of focus cannot be overstated. It is the secret weapon that turns potential into reality. Jim Rohn often said, "You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight." Focus is the compass that guides that direction and keeps you moving steadily toward your goals. When you focus, you concentrate your energy, time, and effort on a specific task or goal instead of scattering yourself across many different things. This concentration magnifies your effectiveness. Just as a magnifying glass concentrates sunlight to start a fire, your focus concentrates your abilities to produce powerful results. Without focus, your efforts become diluted, and progress slows or stalls. One of the key reasons focus is so powerful is that it creates momentum. When you give your full attention to one thing, you move faster and accomplish more. Your mind enters a state of flow where distractions fade away and productivity soars. This state allows you to work smarter, not harder. But when your focus is divided, you spend time switching between tasks, which drains your mental energy and reduces efficiency. Focus also helps you prioritize what really matters. Life is full of demands, obligations, and opportunities, and not all of them align with your goals. When you have clarity and focus, you can distinguish between what is important and what is merely urgent. This discernment is crucial because it allows you to say no to distractions and yes to activities that lead to meaningful progress. Maintaining focus requires discipline. It's easy to let your mind wander or give in to temptations that offer instant gratification but no lasting value. Social media, email notifications, or even multitasking can erode your concentration. Jim Rohn taught that discipline is the key to focus. When you develop self-discipline, you train yourself to resist distractions and stay committed to your priorities. Another critical aspect of focus is setting clear goals. When your goals are specific and well-defined, your mind knows exactly what to focus on. Vague or broad goals make it harder to direct your energy effectively. For example, saying, "I want to get healthy" is less powerful than "I will exercise for 30 minutes 5 days a week." The more precise your goals, the easier it is to maintain focus. Focus is also closely tied to time management. Time is limited, and you cannot do everything. By focusing on one task at a time, you make better use of your time and reduce wasted effort. This principle is the foundation of many productivity techniques, such as the Pomodoro technique, where you work in focused bursts, followed by short breaks. These methods leverage the natural rhythm of focus and rest to maximize efficiency. It's important to recognize that focus is not about working nonstop without breaks. In fact, regular breaks are essential to maintain high levels of concentration. The brain can only sustain intense focus for a limited period before fatigue sets in. Scheduling focused work periods, followed by rest, helps refresh your mind and sustain performance over the long term. Environmental factors also play a significant role in focus. Creating a workspace free from distractions, turning off unnecessary notifications, and setting boundaries with others can significantly improve your ability to concentrate. Jim Rohn believed in controlling your environment as a way to support your personal development and success. The power of focus extends beyond productivity. It influences your mindset and emotional well-being. When you focus on your goals and positive outcomes, you build confidence and reduce anxiety. Conversely, a scattered mind often feels overwhelmed and stressed. Focus gives you a sense of control and direction, which improves your overall mental state. Sometimes maintaining focus requires dealing with internal obstacles such as fear, doubt, or boredom. These feelings can pull your attention away from what matters. To overcome them, it helps to connect with your deeper why, the reason behind your goals. When your purpose is strong, it fuels your focus and motivation, even during difficult times. In addition, focus enhances learning and skill development. When you concentrate deeply on a subject or practice, your brain forms stronger connections, leading to faster mastery. This principle applies whether you are learning a new language, mastering a musical instrument, or developing leadership skills. Focused effort accelerates growth and improves performance. Focus is a habit that can be developed and strengthened over time. Like any skill, it requires practice. Start by eliminating small distractions and gradually increase your ability to concentrate. Techniques such as meditation, mindfulness, and deliberate practice can improve your focus muscle. Over time, you'll find it easier to sustain attention and accomplish your goals. In summary, the power of focus lies in its ability to concentrate your energy, create momentum, and prioritize what truly matters. It transforms scattered efforts into meaningful progress and turns vague ambitions into concrete achievements. By cultivating discipline, setting clear goals, managing your environment, and connecting with your purpose, you harness the power of focus. This power will guide you steadily on the path to success, making your journey more efficient, effective, and fulfilling. Remembering your why is one of the most powerful forces in the pursuit of success and fulfillment. When challenges arise, motivation falters, or distractions pull you off course, it is your why that anchors you and keeps you moving forward. Jim Rohn often emphasized the importance of purpose, saying, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." Your why is that deep, compelling reason behind every goal you set and every action you take. Without it, effort can feel meaningless and perseverance becomes difficult. Your why is the foundation of your commitment. It is the reason you started on your journey in the first place. The vision, the dream, or the purpose that sparked your initial passion. Maybe you wanted to provide a better life for your family, achieve financial independence, or leave a legacy. Whatever your why is, it connects your daily grind to something bigger than yourself. This connection gives your actions meaning and makes the hard work worthwhile. When you remember your why, you tap into a source of motivation that goes beyond fleeting feelings or external rewards. Motivation that comes from purpose is deeper and more sustainable. It fuels resilience when obstacles block your path. Life will test your determination, but if your why is strong enough, you will find ways to overcome difficulties and keep going. Often, people lose sight of their why because the day-to-day demands and distractions cloud their vision. The excitement of the beginning fades, and the hard realities set in. This is why regularly revisiting your why is crucial. Reflection, journaling, or even sharing your story with others can help you reconnect with your core purpose. When you bring your why into your conscious mind, it refreshes your commitment and sharpens your focus. Remembering your why also helps you make better decisions. When faced with choices, you can evaluate them through the lens of your purpose. Does this option align with my why? Will this action bring me closer to the vision I have? This clarity simplifies decision-making and helps you avoid detours that waste time and energy. It keeps you aligned with your true priorities. Your why is also a source of inspiration, not just for you, but for those around you. When you are clear about your purpose, you naturally inspire others. Your passion becomes contagious, attracting people who want to support you or join your mission. Jim Rohn taught that leadership is about influence, and nothing influences others more than someone who is driven by a meaningful why. It's important to understand that your why can evolve. As you grow and experience life, your priorities may shift and new purposes may emerge. This evolution is natural and healthy. The key is to stay connected to whatever your current why is. Adapt it as needed, but never lose sight of the need for a guiding purpose. Sometimes your why might be tied to personal growth rather than an external outcome. For example, your purpose might be to become the best version of yourself, to develop discipline, or to contribute to your community. These intrinsic whys are just as powerful as external goals because they connect to your values and identity. When setbacks or failures occur, remembering your why provides a powerful antidote to discouragement. It reminds you that failure is not the end, but a step along the path. Your why gives you the strength to learn from mistakes, adjust your course, and keep moving forward. This mindset transforms challenges into opportunities for growth. One practical way to remember your why is to create visual reminders. Vision boards, written statements, or personal affirmations placed where you can see them daily serve as constant motivators. These reminders bring your why to the forefront of your mind, especially during moments of doubt or distraction. Another powerful technique is storytelling. Write down or tell your story about why you started your journey. Describe the emotions, hopes, and dreams connected to your why. This narrative helps solidify your purpose in your heart and mind. It also makes your journey more tangible and real. Remembering your why also fosters gratitude. When you connect to your purpose, you appreciate the opportunity to pursue your goals. Gratitude keeps your mindset positive and open, attracting more success and fulfillment into your life. It shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's possible. It's also important to surround yourself with people who understand and respect your why. Supportive relationships provide encouragement and accountability. They remind you of your purpose when your own resolve weakens. Jim Rohn emphasized the influence of your associations. Finally, your why is a compass in the storm. Life will challenge your resolve, bring unexpected detours, and test your patience. When you remember your why, you have a steady anchor. It grounds you in purpose, providing the clarity and strength to navigate difficulties and keep moving forward. Your why is not just a reason to start, but a reason to continue until you succeed. In conclusion, remembering your why is essential to sustaining motivation, making wise decisions, inspiring others, and overcoming challenges. It connects your daily efforts to a greater purpose, making your journey meaningful and fulfilling. Regularly revisit and reflect on your why, keep it visible, share it, and surround yourself with those who support it. When you do this, your why will fuel your success and guide you to a life of impact and achievement.